The majority of autistics long for better representation in media, which is why they approached Love on the Spectrum in a similar way to how its subjects approached their dates, nervous but excited. Despite a long history of frustration and disappointment, I was hopeful that this time it would be different. It was a huge success when Love on the Spectrum debuted on Netflix in 2020 after focusing on young adults with autism spectrum disorders as they explore the unpredictable world of love, dating, relationships. In spite of common misunderstandings, those with autism spectrum disorders seek out partnership and love. Fans love the show for its heartwarming nature. Today we'll talk about Love on the Spectrum, the show that shook Netflix with raving reviews. With a mix of heartwarming praises and low-key to critical criticisms, it's garnered attention and has been looked forward to by many. Without further ado, let's get to it. As a 5-part reality series, which premiered on Netflix earlier this week, it seemed fairly promising. Love is a great topic to explore autistic existence without making autistics seem like an entirely alien species or adorable animals who believe they're people. As dating, sex, romance, and relationships might present some challenges, they are unique to autistic people, but they're also challenging to almost everyone. The ability to address common humanity as well as often significant differences could be entertaining for both autistic and non-autistic audiences and potentially illuminating for them. In the past, stories about autism and love have not lived up to their promise, but Love on the Spectrum might change that, foster empathy for its stars, and spark interest in more autistic stories in the future. As far as autism depictions go, the bar is still low, but the series succeeds by allowing its autistic subjects to tell their own stories and at least somewhat guide themselves, allowing viewers to get to know them as people with their own thoughts, desires, and needs. Although this may sound basic to the uninitiated, autistic people rarely see signs of autistics' actual realities in movies and television. The majority of fictional takes have been made by and for non-autistics, even in recent years. There are more movies like Adam, which is more about how difficult it is to love an autistic person than it is to be an autistic person who wishes to be loved. Then Keep the Change, a 2017 romantic comedy that cast autistic actors in autistic roles and valued their input. Jane Wants a Boyfriend focuses on Jane's sister's struggles to accept her over anything she does herself. In addition to providing more opportunities for actual autistic engagement, nonfiction storytelling can also pose a greater risk of exploitation. While most people thought Autism in Love was a decent portrayal of autistic people working to find and maintain romantic relationships, later reading about the ongoing mistreatment Lindsay Nebeker suffered during production and promotion shocked them. Many autistics worry that other people may unintentionally breach their boundaries. They often feel pressured to disclose more than they were comfortable revealing, especially about romantic relationships. Certainly left many wondering if the professionals autistic people are trusting to facilitate the telling of our stories are truly aware of how much bullying and isolation autistics can face, and how the need to avoid more of these experiences might make them eager to please and a bit too malleable. As a result, producers and editors of reality shows may unintentionally lead participants towards stories and behaviors not the healthiest for their ongoing post-show existence due to a lack of understanding surrounding the potential issue. There are real people who have to cope with the consequence of what was filmed, streamed, discussed, and possibly memed, or maybe even true to who they were and what they really wanted to do at the time. Though it can be nerve-wracking, most people remain open to new autism-related environment. Pop culture has helped many understand non-autistic people and the world around them better, and they remain convinced that it can be just as powerful in reverse as well. By and large, Love on the Spectrum presents a relatively benign and non-judgmental look at the romantic struggles and triumphs of many different individuals on the autism spectrum. Some have already found love and are navigating the challenges of long-term relationships and major life changes. Many are still on the hunt. Jody Rogers, a relationship expert who works with autistic individuals, occasionally shows up to offer advice. As part of providing some context for the proceedings, a narrative provides some general information about autism erratically. But Olivia, a witty and self-aware actor who clearly has a lot of experience explaining her and autism to others, does the bulk of the work. No evidence on screen suggests anything extremely untoward, manipulative, or exploitive occurred during the making of the show, although some may have missed the signs in previous autism documents. While the circumstances leading up to the Signals date seems a bit manufactured, the dates themselves don't. The segments with Ruth and Thomas, Charnay and Jimmy appear natural enough. During a recent interview, Siano Clary explained that psychologists suggested a camera crew accompany the subjects on dates could even help diffuse tension and make them feel less alone. It's entirely possible that other autistic people may feel differently in a situation like that, despite the fact that some autistic people may imagine feeling even more stressed and scrutinized. As Amanda asks the crew to take a break during the date with Michael and Calvin's date, Jessica interrupts his interview to clarify a misconception. There are hints of breaking the fourth wall. It's apparent that some of the participants struggled with reality television conventions throughout the show. It made others wish they could have explored that more thoroughly. It is difficult to understand the concept of dating, but it's even more bizarre and fabricated to make reality TV. Despite the fact that reality TV is less relatable for the average viewer than dating, it would have been more honest and interesting to see the cast grapple with both at the same time. Love on the Spectrum doesn't quite meet some expectations despite its apparent benevolence. Among the most common complaints with the series is the cast, which don't actually represent the autistic community in terms of race, gender, or sexual orientation. It has even been suggested that the vast majority of Love on the Spectrum subjects came from upper-class families, have loving parents who share their diagnosis, and are supported by loving parents. Fails to picture the reality that there are parents who routinely deny their child's neurodivergence, verbally or physically abuse them. As well as those whose parents or guardians fail to understand their neurodivergence, there are scores of people in the community who come from far less affluent families. A more accurate representation of autism as a whole would be achieved by including such individuals in the show. It has been commended for its more flattering portrayal of the autistic community, but there are some concerns that the show denies the maturity of the autistic adults. People who are not autistic often treat the cast members as children with neurotypicals, speaking in baby voices to autistic adults. As a result of this condescension, they always view the stars as more innocent than themselves. It's unfortunate the show tolerates infantization in such a matter. A number of autistics commented on the show's tendency for cast members' introductions to focus more on their autistic characteristics than their unrelated identities, adding that this seems juvenile. It's possible that the creators of the series believe that the focus of the neurodiversity of the stars maintained the show's theme, but this poster and others argue that it slants them in an awkward way. For people with autism to receive proper respect for neurotypical individuals, it's crucial that they're treated as full individuals. A couple of other misgivings may not occur to non-autistic viewers, but they may linger in autistic viewers' minds. Is the score too cutesy for a show about adults dating? What is the purpose of the cuts between awkward date moments and other more natural-looking interactions between people in other parts of the venue? Is it possible that the close-up on eccentric clothing choices would have occurred if the subjects were neurotypical? Do audiences sympathize with or pity the subjects? Will they laugh at them? Were the introductions that listed their subjects' quirky likes and dislikes generally informative or infantilizing? It's, however, difficult to untangle these concerns. Unscripted programming about non-autistic love isn't perfect in its portrayal either. There's always the risk of misrepresentation and misinterpretation. Even the earnest and straightforward ones aren't perfect. It may seem awkward, but it's a step towards equality to accept that autistic reality show stars will be subject to the same hazards as non-autistic ones, and respect the autonomy of those who choose to participate. So what do you think? Do you like it? Or is there something about the show that feels just a little iffy? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content related to this. As usual, take care and we'll see you in the next video.